you being brought up to the WWF in 1993, obviously with Vince McMahon on trial for the steroids. How did that actually all come about?
Well, Vince became my Sunday telephone buddy. He would call me every Sunday, and we would talk for literally sometimes 2 hours. And he knew that I was very close to his father. So it was a bad time. All the bad publicity about Pat Patterson was out. Right on the heels of that came the government charging him with steroid distribution. And so he would call, and Vince doesn't do anything by accident. He's a brilliant man. But because I was so close to his dad, he finally told me one day, he said, I'm really worried if I have to go to jail. I've got great people, but nobody knows how to tie all the pieces in the wrestling business together. Is there any way I can talk you into coming up here? Of course, I said no. Then, 4 or 5 Sundays later, I said yes.
Wow. So basically, you would have been in charge of the whole company. You would have been the boss. You would have been the Vince McMahon.
Yes. When I first went up there, that was Vince's intent. Vince had a house that probably cost him $7 or $8 million there in Greenwich at the Polo Grounds. And I told him, I said, I can put your house in my ballroom. You just think you're living a good life up here. But anyway, we used to have a lot of fun joking.
What was your relationship like after, obviously the trial, ended the way it did, and he didn't end up going to jail. But what was your relationship like after that? Did he still call you every Sunday? Were you guys still in communication? Were you still talking?
Not as much, of course, but I helped Vince a good bit. First thing that happened, Eric Bischoff came when he heard I'd come back home to New York and offered me a job, help him run Atlanta, the Turner. And I knew Ted personally from years ago when I was in Atlanta with Jim Barnett. But I had burned out from leaving home. I wanted to stay right there in Henderson. But finally, Eric offered me a job as a consultant so I would never have to come to Atlanta, just talk on the phone. So I told him, I feel obligated to Vince. Vince was still paying me. Vince paid me a year after I came home. Because I think he thought I'd come back up there, but he consultant at home. And I said, I certainly don't want to go to work for them because it offends you. He said, they'll take their money. The sooner they go broke, the better off I'll be. And I said, well, that's not speaking very highly of me. He said, they won't listen to you anyway. I know them. So anyway, I accepted the job, and so for about a year, I was getting a check in the mailbox from WWE and one from Ted Jarrett. WCW. And, but after about a year with WCW, I got tired of it. But Vince, sometimes Lynn would call and I would work as liaison to some of the wrestlers, like when he When he got the Steiners, I called Scott. When we got Logan, I arranged for them to meet in the hotel when Logan came back for him. Stuff like that. But, you know, I got away from wrestling, and I haven't talked to Vince in a while.
Now,
wait, yes, I did.
Oh.
I called him when I got the Russian kid.
Vladimir Kozlov.
Yeah. Anyway, a friend of mine, Lenny Copton, up there in Brighton Beach, asked me about getting in the business, and I called Vince and asked him if he'd give him the contract. He said, sure.
Now, what was the deal with Vladimir Kozlov?
With who?
With
the
Vladimir
Russian?
Kozlov, with you bringing him in, yeah.
Yeah, what I wanted to do, and I told Vince, I said, you know, the kid needs some training. And I said, you don't have anybody up here that has a clue how to break a wrestler in. Let me let him move to Nashville, New York, and let me work with him for a while. And he said, no, we'll break him in. Of course, they didn't, and then they miscast him, and he didn't last long.
Thank you for watching the Hannibal TV. Please like this video if you enjoyed it, and click the subscribe button to not miss any of our latest shoot interviews, match videos,